Welcome everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. And can you see me now? Okay. Matt, why don't you come up here and you can open us up in a word of prayer. Thank you. This is Matt Benglinger, our Vice Principal. Hi.
Let's pray. Lord, thank you so much for this evening and just a chance to spend time together to fellowship, to talk about the school year. Lord, we thank you for this school and just the opportunity to teach kids from a godly, biblically based foundation. Pray for our time tonight that it would just be helpful and authentic, and questions would get answered, and vision would be cast. And we just pray that you would bless our time and bless our school year. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Matt. So for this session, what I wanted to try to do here is just kind of familiarize. Is that a word? Did I just say an actual word? Sometimes I'm not sure. With the campus and kind of some of the things that I won't necessarily go over in as much detail with you. I'll go into less detail with the next crew. So I wanted to go ahead and do that. But before I do that, just to introduce you to the administration on this campus. So Rebecca Smith in the back is going to wave at you. Nice wave. I don't know if they all...
Do you want to...
Yes, a nice wave. Maybe a little princess wave at the end. Thank you, Rebecca. So she is our junior high assistant principal on this campus. And she's also, like it says, the instructional planning director. And so she's actually on multiple campuses with that. Matt is named Matt Benglinger, our vice principal on this campus, and I'm Kim DeMaine, and I'm the principal. So our purpose statement, we have this on the wall of our office. The only reason we exist is to serve Jesus Christ by developing the whole person to impact the world for Him. So this is a great short statement that really captures who we are and why we're here and why my people serve in this ministry. And you're going to hear a lot more from them as you visit class to class tonight. But anyway. So the other thing I wanted to introduce you guys to is our website a little bit, so you can find out what kind of information is on there day in and day out. So one of the first things I'll draw your attention to, actually I'll go into a few more specifics about, is something we call our Charger Weekly View. You've actually already received one of those on Friday. So that's a great notification that you get that just really captures a lot of up-to-date, now important information, things that are coming up on the calendar. Again, I'll go into a few more specifics about that a little bit later. You'll find on our webpage what our daily announcements were. There's a background check form to sign on our website. If you're going to be volunteering or doing any driving or anything like that, that's on our website. Our daily bell schedule and the chapel schedule is all on our website. You can actually access our library and find out what volumes are available through our website. And you can find out what the lunch menus are on our website. Academic-wise, we've got quite a bit of information listed on our website. You will, if you've spent any time on our website, it's kind of full of a lot of information. But that's because we're a school and we have a lot of information to share with you and really want to be transparent about that. So on that academics portion, some of the key places you may want to interact with and access are things like what are our course offerings, 7 through 12, that's listed on there. And it also, will give you a snapshot of our school profile. It will give you our graduation requirements and all those things. You can find all of that online. One of the things that my current people, are pretty well versed in is the difference between these three things. Now, Teams is new to everyone, so I'm going to talk about it in here, and I'm going to talk about it at the next session. I'm not going to spend as much time talking about RenWeb and Tandem because the rest of the group is pretty well versed in that. So basically with Teams, that's where you're going to find the class content. If you've got a student who missed class, they're going to go to Teams, and there are classes where, like for example, in some of the math classes, they will even have access to, because they have interactive whiteboards in their class. So when they take notes on their interactive whiteboard and they're going through a problem, they house that on Teams. And so kids who are absent can actually kind of go to almost, I mean, it's not a virtual lesson, we're not an online school, but it's going to give some content that can be accessed that will help if somebody's absent. That's also where the assignment calendar is going to be posted. So a lot of information on Teams that's just class specific and content that the teacher houses there. RenWeb is the software we use for grades. It's also the software we really use as our database for our entire school. So that's where you're going to access, that's the program that involves grades. So you can actually access that on our website as well. The interface for you is called Parents Web. Tandem is our calendar that is also posted on our website. So when you go to our website and you click on calendar, it brings up Tandem, and that is going to just show you all of the events, and I'll give you a couple of screenshots of those things real quick here. So back to Teams. So this is like an example of a Teams page. I'm on all of the Teams pages for all of the classes, so I have a lot of classes that show up on my left-hand side. But for your students, their classes that they're enrolled in are going to be listed here. And then if they click on assignments, it's going to show all the assignments for all of their classes in one view, okay? They are the ones, your students are the ones that have the login information, and so if you're going to access it, parents are going to access using your child's login and password. And so they've already been walked through how to do that. They've already been walked through how to access that. They've made a password for that. So if you want access to Teams, you need to use your students' login and password, okay? You won't have your own. It will be your students, whichever student you're trying to access, okay? So they've already been walked through all of that, and they're familiar with that. And you'll see Teams pages tonight when you're visiting the classes, okay? RenWeb. So like I was saying, RenWeb is that link. So in the bottom right-hand corner of our homepage, it says log into Parents Web. So that's where you're going to go to access grades. If you want to see what the grades are on any given moment of any given day, you can access that there. You can also change email addresses and update phone numbers and all of that through Parents Web as well. Weekly progress reports have actually already started. So you received an email on Sunday, and it's like when you're on your way to church and you're pulling the car over and you're like, what was this? Wait a minute. Like, I gotta get in the right mind frame to go to church. Wait a minute. But that's when you get, we have no choice. If we want the progress report to be emailed to you once a week, our only option with RenWeb, with the system, is Sunday. We don't get to pick the day. But that is when you get the email, and so you'll click on the link and it'll give you just all the details on the assignments and the grades for all the classes your kiddos are enrolled in. If there are any questions about that, or if we know that some of you got emailed like every moment of every day this past weekend, like, I mean, it was getting emailed a lot, so that got fixed. But if there's something going on and you have a question specifically about that, you can email Peggy Ware. Tandem. So this is that tandem calendar I was talking about that you can access on our webpage. So basically, this is a screenshot of the tandem page. It's just gonna list for you anything and everything that is going on any given day. It's going to be a lot of information. And certainly once the school year gets rolling and athletics are in full swing, you know, each day is going to have a lot of different things going on. But it is the most up-to-date, accurate location of what, who, what, when. Teacher office hours, this is something that we've had for a while here on this campus that has been really, really great. So we developed this program after school for all of my full-time teachers, and they stay for the first half hour of every day in their classroom, all my full-time teachers, and they host what we call office hours. So it's really an opportunity, like I have here, it really just supports the student-owned learning. They're developing resilience because they're having to go and ask the questions themselves. It's another discipleship opportunity for my people. It's certainly developing positive habits and accountability for the kiddos as well. So how it works is every full-time teacher is available after school, 3:15 to 3:45. And the time can also be used, of course, for questions and help. And I'll talk a little bit about it again, reminding my whole group about this process. But like it says, this time can be used to get help, get questions answered, and as much as we can control, as far as our own practices start after this time. So there's not going to be a conflict for your student to have to choose to say, do I go to volleyball practice or do I go to after school hours? Does that make sense? Okay. Lunch accounts. There's basically two main ways to put lunch money in the lunch account, and they can bring a check to the office or they can just bring cash to the lunch line, and it can get deposited right then and there. You can actually check your balance online on that Parents Web. And the weird thing about the system is that a negative means a positive. People, I don't know why that is. It confuses me to this day, and I wish I could change it, and it makes no sense. But Anna Bayless is always having to field questions about that, but that's the way that works right now. So you can check your balance online. Again, filling their lunch account is as simple as them just bringing a check with them through the lunch line. We actually have a new lunch policy. So no longer can the kids, because it used to be, they used up all their money on their account, and they show up at the lunch counter and they're hungry and they're ready for lunch, and so they would start charging and incurring debt for lunch, and they'd still get the Yokozuna or the Costa Vida or whatever, and we end up having to, they just build up a debt. So the new lunch policy is that the only thing they can charge if they don't have any money left in their account is this $3 charger meal. So if they don't have money in their account and they don't have a lunch and they want a lunch, this is the lunch they are going to get. Now, honestly, I had a half an avocado and Triscuits today for lunch. This looks pretty good, okay? This does not look bad to me. It's got hard-boiled eggs, which I love. So this is pretty tasty, people. I feel like this is fantastic. Anyway, but that's a new policy I'll actually share again. Speaking of food, for all y'all, we are going to have a new family dinner coming in October that everyone here is invited to. It's going to be, I think it's at 6 o'clock here. We're going to have a big potato dinner, and it's just going to be an opportunity to fellowship with other new families and with staff and hang out. So that's coming up in October. Counseling and advising staff, so Kristen Overton, who can wave from the back row right here. Hello, Mrs. Overton. She's our Director of Counseling. And Sarah Wall, who is not here tonight, is our College and Career Advisor, and that's Sarah Wall. So advisory. So your students are all in an advisory class, and you actually get to attend their advisory tonight. It'll be the first class you attend. So basically, we use this time really to just disciple your kiddos. Every single one of my people who's in this building is here because this is their mission field, and they are here to disciple your kiddos in their relationship with Jesus. That's why they're here. They're not here for math. They're not here for English. That is the means by which they disciple your kiddos in their relationship with the Lord. This is their mission field, okay? So I have a lot of people in the building who, even if they don't teach a class, even if they're answering phones, even if they're serving lunches or something like that, they're still here because this is a ministry where they get to disciple kids in their relationship with the Lord. So we've got a lot of staff who are involved in what we call advisory. So advisory is really just time to shepherd the students, to disciple them. It's a small group environment, and it really enables, in a small group environment, every student to have yet one more opportunity to be in contact with an adult that cares about them, cares about their relationship with the Lord, and cares about how they're doing. So the advisory meets after chapel every week. So, for instance, tomorrow is chapel day. So after chapel, we'll get the opportunity to meet in advisory with the students, and those groups range in sizes from 6 to maybe 16. It just depends on the grade level. Sometimes it just depends on how many advisors we have available, but we do our very best. Like it says, we meet immediately after each chapel. It starts at Thursdays, starts at 10:45 on Thursdays. Over 90% of my staff is an advisory leader, and so I've got a couple other advisory leaders that come in, and they're in ministry outside the school, but just have a heart and passion for kiddos and discipling kiddos in their relationship with the Lord. So we have vetted them, and some of them are small group or advisory leaders as well. It definitely aligns with our model of relational education, and that model requires us to get to know our students and to understand how we can challenge them to reach their fullest potential. We really need to know them. So this is just another environment where kids can get known. We can know their potential. And again, another opportunity to challenge them in their relationship with the Lord. Athletics, that's really a ton of information, again, housed on our website. A lot of people, I have downloaded the RepU app on their phone. Raise your hand if you've, I really love it, actually. It works really well. Anyway, so on our website, you'll find lots of information, forms, schedules, directions to games, all those things are housed there. Reminders for if you're visiting our campus to come to the office. The first place you go to on campus is to just come to the office, check in, sign in. Even if you're just here to pick up your student, you come to the office and we'll get your student for you. If you are checking in because you're staying on campus, you're going to sign in, you're going to get a visitor's badge, and we just ask that you go back to the office before you leave so you can check out. Cell phones, just to give you guys an idea of what that looks like on campus. So there's really, all cell phones are housed in the classrooms in these shoe bags or cell phone bags, and there's really little cell phone, almost no cell phone use during class unless it's directed by the teacher. But for the most part, they're going to stay in those pockets. There's zero cell phone use during chapel, and like it says, every classroom has a holding slot, and they can be used during a passing period or lunchtime or in the office. So those are okay times. And what we remind students is that there's no social media posting while they're on campus, period. We do have a locked campus, so the entire perimeter, all doors are locked, even our front doors. So we use a system by which there's a doorbell and a little video camera, and then you are allowed entrance into campus. And again, your first stop is the office. If you've got a student who's absent, it's just an email to attendance@cvcsonline.org. That's all you need to do, is just email attendance, okay? Volunteering, if you are going to be volunteering, this is where that online form comes into play, where you do get a background check before we allow you to volunteer on campus. We do have an RN, Shannon Weimer, and we also have a health tech, Alicia Carlisle. And so every day we've got one of them on campus. And so Alicia is here Monday through Wednesday, and Shannon is here Thursdays and Fridays, and Shannon is actually here tonight. So if you've got questions about the office, about anything that you've got concerns about, feel free to talk to Shannon tonight, because she is here. And by the way, all of both general sessions tonight and my PowerPoint slides will be uploaded and made available online, I think sometime next week. So if you want to go back through, if you've got questions or whatever, everything will be posted. We do have a script tuition credit program that's headed by Jennifer Miller. She actually had a table tonight. And so if some of you came from schools or environments where they had this, where it's a gift card system, and depending on the vendor, there's usually a percentage that comes back to the school as a donation. So it might be common places that you go to all the time, whether it's Fred Meyer or Walmart, or places to eat, things like that. If you know that that's money you are going to spend, if you use script to do that, then actually a percentage of it, again, depending on the vendor, a percentage of it will come back to the school. So Jennifer can give you more information about that. Okay, back to the Charger Weekly View. So this, again, you can always find on our website under Secondary Campus Resources, Charger Weekly View. And on Friday, this is what your email looks like. And so there's just a link right there that's just prompting you that the Charger Weekly View has been posted and it's ready to be read. And so here's an example of just the very beginning, God bless you, of the kind of information that's on it, okay? A lot of info, and a lot of my parents just really rely on this information. So, back to who do I email, just real quick. If it's about athletics, Connor Jackson is our AD, so he'll be your main point of contact for that. If it's about attendance, you email attendance@cvcsonline.org. If you've got a RenWeb issue and just have questions about that, that's Peggy Ware. And that if you've got questions about tuition or anything money related, that email is businessoffice@cvcsonline.org. Okay? And again, all of this will get posted online by next week. okay? And then tonight, you kind of had to walk past them before coming in here, but we've got a few different tables set up outside. Charger Blue, which is for athletics, Charger Gear, which is the shopping, our lunch program. Anna's here tonight. Men's ministry, Darren Krager will be speaking at the next session. Like I said, Shannon Weimer, our nurse, is here, and Jennifer Miller with Scrip. So we're going to take a little break, and in about 13 or less minutes, we're going to be back in here for the large group, and we're going to start that time off by having all of the teachers up front, and they're going to very quickly introduce themselves, pass the mic, and then I'm going to dismiss the teachers to go to their classrooms, and then we'll get started with our next session, okay? So I'm here all evening, and so if you've got any questions, feel free to come grab me, and thank you for being here. So we'll see you back in a few minutes. Thanks.